The smoke was still rising when she arrived, thin gray curtains drifting above the ruins of the marketplace. Carrying the metallic scent of blood and burnt concrete, Captain Elena Ward stepped out of the armored truck before it fully stopped, her boots landing on ground still trembling from the explosion minutes earlier. A young soldier moved to block her path, eyes filled with panic. "Ma'am, you can't enter," he said, voice cracking. Elena didn't stop, because deep inside that smoke, beneath shattered beams and collapsing roofs, she knew someone she cared about was trapped. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're rewatching from. I love knowing who's listening. Elena had spent 12 years defusing bombs in places the world forgot existed. She had seen chaos, grief, and loss, but never like this. Not when she knew the team she'd trained, the team she'd sworn to protect, had been inside the market checking a faulty generator minutes before the blast. One of them was Sergeant Milo Brooks, the man who once promised her that war wouldn't take what they had in tea yet lived. She thought she'd never see him again. She was wrong, but not in the way she hoped. She pushed deeper into the wreckage. Dust drifted through beams of sunlight like lost souls, and every step crunched over glass and fragments of overturned stalls apples, cloth broken pottery, all stained with ash. Civilians gathered behind yellow tape, their voices hushed, terrified, praying for survivors. The air carried a stillness that wasn't quiet, it was waiting. Then she heard it. Faint tapping beneath a collapsed awning. 2 taps. A pause. One more. The signal of a soldier trying to stay alive. Her breath caught. Her hands trembled, but not from fear, because hope could be heavier than dread. She knelt by the rubble, pressing her ear close, hearing faint, muffled breathing. "Hold on," she whispered, even though she knew whoever was underneath couldn't hear her. Behind her, Lieutenant Rowell sprinted up. "Captain, secondary device detected. Could detonate any time." A moral weight dropped onto her shoulders like the slabs of concrete before her. Pull back and protect her team from a second explosion, or dig, knowing she might doom them all. Saving one meant risking the many. Her pulse hammered with the impossible choice. Elena closed her eyes for one brief steadying moment. She remembered Milo telling her once on a cold night beside a desert outpost, "Courage isn't choosing safety, it's choosing the person who needs you most." She rose. "Get the squad back," she ordered. "I'm going in alone." The soldiers protested, but her stare silenced them. Fear rippled across their faces. They didn't want to lose her. Not the commander who taught them how to stay alive. Not the woman who stayed calm even when the world burned. Minutes later, she slipped into the ruins, moving with the precision of someone who had spent years learning to read danger, like a second language. A hanging beam swayed overhead. A shard of metal groaned, ready to fall. The ground trembled with every shift of weight. She crawled forward on her elbows, fingers brushing warm concrete still pulsing from the heat of the blast. Then she saw him. Milo, half buried beneath a fractured wall, his uniform torn, his chest rising in small, shallow breaths. One arm was pinned, the other reaching out toward a woman and a child who lay beside him, both strangers. Both unconscious, but protected by the way he had thrown his body over them at the moment of the explosion. Elena froze, a wave of emotion crashing through her. Pride, pain, love, she had never confessed out loud. He had shielded people he didn't know. He had chosen the innocent. "Stay with me," she whispered, though tears blurred her sight. Milo's eyelids fluttered. "Thought you left the city," he murmured, "and missed saving your stubborn life." Her voice shook with a laugh she wasn't sure she felt. The building groaned above them, a long, low growl that made dust rain over their heads. She worked quickly, fingers moving with practiced motion, slipping an inflatable air wedge beneath the slab. Each pump lifted it a little. Each lift shifted the debris around them dangerously. If the secondary bomb went off now, the entire structure would bury them alive. A crowd gathered at a distance, silent, breath held, watching the lone figure risking everything inside the broken market. There were no cheers, no shouts, just a collective heartbeat, shared fear, shared hope. And then it happened. The second device began to beep. 3 slow tones. A pause, but 2 faster ones. The signature of an unstable charge preparing to detonate. "Captain, get out!" Rawls' voice echoed from afar. Elena didn't move. She kept her hands steady, lifting the last chunk, pinning Milo down. Sweat dripped down her forehead. Her breathing grew tight. A tremor shook the building. "Milo," she whispered, "when I say go, you're going to crawl out. Do not look back." He weakly nodded. She pushed the slab aside with everything left in her. Milo slid free, pulling the woman and child with him. Elena shielded them as they crawled toward the gap she'd entered through. Her legs shook from debris pressing against her. Her lungs burned with smoke, but they moved, inch by inch, hope by hope. By the time they emerged, the crowd erupted, whispers growing into stunned gasps, then cheers, then applause that rolled across the square like a wave breaking. Raoul grabbed Milo and the civilians, dragging them to cover. Lena stood last. For a moment, no one breathed. Then the second bomb exploded. A thunderous roar shook the earth, sending a shockwave through the air. The building collapsed inward, a billowing cloud surging outward, but Elena had made it far enough. She crouched behind a fallen column, dust swallowing her whole. Silence followed. A long, dreadful silence. And her silhouette appeared through the dust, stepping forward, bruised but alive. The applause returned louder, fuller, filled with relief and awe. Milo, bandaged but conscious, reached for her hand. His voice cracked. "You chose me over the mission." She shook her head. "No, I chose life over fear." That night, as the sun dipped below the ruined skyline, Lena stood before her team, her heart heavy yet hopeful. War had taken much, but not humanity, not courage, not the chance to do what mattered. Because courage doesn't fade, it waits for the moment you need it most. And in the smoky quiet of the evening, with the marketplace still echoing with ghosts of the morning, Elena realized something simple and true. Every act of bravery begins the moment someone says, "You can't enter," and a heart answers, "Watch me." If this story moved you, let me know in the comments, and Dan T, forget to subscribe to Whispered Words for more stories of courage, resilience, and humanity.